The podcast. What was impossible is now possible. Don't resist it, embrace it. Okay, welcome back everybody to the Botcast. My name is Dr. Andrew Timms. I am one of the hosts, but I'm only Pinky in this duo. The brain is Daniel Lyon. How are you, buddy?
Good, thanks, Andrew. Just doing what we do every day.
Yeah, that's it. Let's take over the world.
Trying to take over the world.
That's it. So today we're going to be talking about Facebook ads, why and how. And this is really the area that Daniel goes. I'm more of a novice on the Facebook ad side of things. I know their power, but let's jump straight in. One, talking about Facebook ads for bots and really the power of them.
Right, yeah, exactly. And so, again, a lot of people struggle with Facebook ads, mainly because they start out on the wrong foot. They simply either jump straight in with boosting or they jump straight in with trying to run an ad and not even knowing who they're targeting it to, what they're doing. They lack the fundamentals of split testing and a whole lot of that. So we're not necessarily going into the aspects of a Facebook ad in this one, but more why would we use a Facebook ad for a bot? So there's the three critical elements, though, to a successful ad, which we will go into because that's powerful to results. And why you would do it is that, number one, you've got to have a good ad that's actually going to resonate with your target audience. So first of all, it's important to know who is your actual audience, like down to the T. You've got to know that they're a 25 to 35-year-old female who does this, who's of this occupation in this area or what have you, because now when you do your Facebook ad, then the picture that you use, the language that you use, everything about that ad is going to speak directly to a 25 to 35-year-old female, not to a 50-year-old male, because you're going to get the difference in results on your clicks. So first step, you've got to have a good ad. Secondly, the call to action on the ad of where they're going to go to, in this case, the bot, has to be really, really successful and congruent with the first step, is that when they get there, you don't want to be doing the bait and switch tactic like you always see those ads on TV saying about 5 foods you should never eat if you want to lose weight or whatever on those side posts in your Facebook thing. There's a picture of the banana, and when you get to there thinking, bananas, I eat bananas every day, and you click on it, and it's got nothing to do with the banana, and you're like, and you click back. So making sure that the second component is that the landing page, which traditionally was on our website or a leads, click funnels or unbounce or one of those kind of things, that the landing page is congruent with the ad and still building value and adding on top of what you've already done the ad. And then the third step is making sure that what you're going to deliver or the objective of your ad is also congruent, what they want, and it's all lining up. So there's always been, in a sense, 3 steps with the ads. And so there's a little bit of a misconception with the Facebook ads for Messenger that there's a second step. But when you just kind of pull back out of the macro, it's just that they've shifted one of the steps into Facebook instead of it being on your unbounced page. So traditionally,
do you
looking
want to
at
just
it
get into that? Because I just say most people wouldn't even know. A lot of people wouldn't even know Facebook have opened up the ability to have ads on Messenger.
Right. So that's just something fairly recent in the last couple of months, and they're promoting it quite heavily, is that you can now use your Messenger as a destination for your Facebook ad. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the real power of that is the fact that it's keeping the customers inside of Facebook. So there's, going back to, we had discussed in a previous one, the peace and comfort that your customers or your clients have in the fact that they're not clicking through to a website. You're not saying, go here. It's saying, send us a message to find out more. So they realize that, well, hey, I don't even have to go anywhere. I don't even have to leave Facebook. I was happy in my newsfeed. I can stay right where I am in the newsfeed and simply send a message, done. I've responded to the ad. So there's that peace and comfort from it. So there is the better results there.
And where does Facebook really want you?
Yeah, exactly. Facebook gets to control that. Like, that's what Facebook wants. They want you to play in their sandpit. They don't want you to go pick them up and take them to a better park down the road or a different park down the road. They want you to supply the toys in their sandpit rather than in your own down the road. So it's trying to bring your sandpit into their sandpit, or at least trying to control your portion of the sandpit. So there's definitely a clear why you would want to run Facebook ads to your bot. One, because of the fact that, like what we said, the peace of mind, the satisfaction, the idea that Facebook is wanting you to do it. Whenever Facebook wants you to do something, they always give higher precedence to it and preference to it. So you got two ads running, and one ad's going to be taking them away from Facebook, the other ad's going to be keeping them within Facebook. Your ad's probably going to get shown up a lot more. You'll get more reach than others based on the fact that Facebook's going to prefer you because you're keeping them there. And that's ideally because Facebook only makes money when people are clicking on ads. And if you've taken them away from Facebook, there's no other ad they can click on in 3 minutes' time, 6 minutes' time, 9 minutes' time, so they're not going to get any more clicks out of you unless they come back to Facebook. But by keeping them there, they send the message they just got paid, but they're still in the newsfeed, so they can click on another ad and get paid again. So that's a big intent why Facebook would want to keep them there. The other aspect to it is because by going into the bot, you're absolutely dramatically increasing what you can do with customers and leads. We all know that the money's in the list, and everyone talks about the lists. And there's always been this industry standard that 10 to 15% is like the ideal. 10% is good, 15% is phenomenal, what the really, really top marketers get online out of their landing pages. And what we mean by that is 100 clicks go to the website and 10 people actually click through on it. And Andrew and I had a meeting with a partner or another business. I don't remember what day it was. Was it Monday, Andrew?
I think it was, yeah.
One day there. Yeah.
They all blend into the other ones.
Sorry?
They all blend into the other ones.
They sure do. When you're doing the same thing you do every day, it's just
take it over the world, buddy. Take it over the world.
Yeah, but anyway, we're talking to this fella who was the head of this digital marketing agency. Like, they run Facebook ads and do digital marketing for large businesses and stuff. And I expressed this to him. I said, well, industry standard is around 10%. You getting that? And he said, no, man. He said, people have become so stingy with their emails, we can't get 10% anymore. And so that was kind of like, I had suspected that, but at the same time, he really confirmed that. And that was coming from not just a marketer, but from someone who does online marketing for companies. So he's got a large amount of clients that they're working with. And he was even saying that people are becoming stingy. They're not even really getting the 10%. So you've got that value that if they come to the website and leave, you haven't caught them unless they give you the email. And you've got to make sure that it was the real email and not their fake one. But by getting them into a bot with your Facebook ad, once they are in your bot and interacting with it, you've captured more than their email. You've captured their profile. You can now say, well, first up, I didn't know who I was targeting. How do I know if they're 20 to 30-year-old females? Well, once you've started getting people into the bot, you could simply just literally click through the list of people interacting with your bot and have a look at their feed and go, okay, well, she's a 25 to 35-year-old female. So is she, so she, so she. There we go. I've either validated or found who is actually interested in my business. So that's definitely the why you would do it. Going into the how you would do it, that's where then you would come into the fact of recognizing that when you click on Messenger, you do have to set up a call to action page in Messenger. And at that point, you do not have their details. And that's critical to understand. So when they first go to Messenger, so they've clicked on your ad and gone to that Messenger screen that you set up in the Facebook ad, if someone goes there and does not interact and leaves, they're disappeared and you don't actually know who it was. And that's why there's not the 100% conversion rate, because there's the potential to do that. So it's really critical to recognize that your ad is important, yes, and we're traditionally all built upon each other. That number one was knowing your target, number two was having a good landing page, and number three was having a good offer. It's really, really integral that they're all still intact, but number two is now critically important. If you don't have a good landing page within that bot screen to where someone's going to want to tick or click the button, and that's what I recommend. Don't ask them a question. Don't say type reply or show me. Or I had one the other day and it was for a real estate company that we were setting up for them, and they said type in property to get this evaluation thing. And I said, no, it would be better to put a button there. that says, show me the evaluation. Because now that's made it easier for the customer to interact. All they've got to do is click the button, and that is now considered engagement. The minute they push that button, they're in the bot and you've captured them. So it's really critical to look at how you're going to get them and understand that landing page where they go to from the Facebook ad is the most important step now, because that's the part that's either going to capture their details or lose them forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, with someone, I suppose, someone who's a complete novice and never really done any Facebook advertising, maybe just briefly discuss on really why Facebook is probably the most powerful medium currently on the face of the planet to actually advertise through.
Yeah, sure. So now we've got the fact that when we look at Facebook statistics, we've got to step back a little bit and kind of make them a little bit more logical. So Facebook just passed their 2 billion mark, so they've now got 2 billion monthly active users. Now, that does not mean, like, you could say, well, yeah, but there's people with fake accounts. Well, if they've got a fake account that's not being used, then that's not getting counted as an active user unless they're logging in constantly using it. So in which case, they're an active user. So whether it's fake or not, they're still utilizing it and still doing stuff in there. So Facebook's past 2 billion active users. Now, when we look at that from a world scale, that's pretty well 1/3 of the world when we factor in the 7 billion people. But now, when we look at the fact that China alone has got like close to 2 billion people and Facebook's banned in China, well, we've instantly taken 1/3 of the world away to say, well, now we've got 2 billion monthly users out of 5 billion. So we're almost at 50% of the population. And now we take out again all of the third world countries and people living in poverty around this world that they don't have a smartphone, they don't have access to the internet, let alone a Facebook page. And you take out them, we're gradually seeing that we're now looking at, particularly in a country like Australia or America or the UK or Eastern Europe or something, Western Europe, whatever, we're looking at a fact that we've got around 60 to 70% of the population as monthly active users. So that's a good chunk. If you've got a customer out there, I can almost guarantee that they're on Facebook. And when we look at the fact that people are spending so much time on Facebook a day, in fact, Facebook has now almost taken over the amount of time spent in front of the television. It already did take over the time of free to air, basically, because of the fact that we've got Netflix and all these other options. But once we take that into account, well, now, if you're going to run an ad, you've got more chance of having a visibility on Facebook than you do of running it in an ad break on the TV show. 10 times more chances of visibility, just simply alone because of the numbers. But the power of Facebook is in its targeting. When you run an ad on TV, it's just going to whoever happens to be sitting in front of the TV at the time. When you run an ad with Facebook, you can so far macro right down to the point where you're targeting actual interests that you're targeting, like we said, you could literally run an ad to say, I only want to run this to a 30-year-old male living within 50 miles of this town that earns X amount of dollars and has expressed interest in these 5 things. And Facebook will literally only show that to those people. So the ability to completely hone right in and make sure that your ad is only being seen and paid for by being shown to the people who are 100 times more likely to click on it than the person not, that's why you would want to be running an ad. But particularly by sending it into the bot, you can now capture those details and drastically build your list of highly qualified customers, not just fake leads.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the moment, it's just the most, like, for the ability you can target and the cost per click or the cost of the ads, it's second to none. And that's only going to that's only going to increase. It's like Google AdWords 10, 15 years ago, were next to nothing and very powerful, and that's sort of what Facebook adverts are now. But Google AdWords are significantly more costly than they were back then. And same thing's going to happen with Facebook over time.
Exactly. And I ran an ad the other day for one of our businesses, and we ended up with a 14-cent click. Now, there is tricks where you can go around, you can get 1 cent to a half a cent, and we've done some where you target certain countries that you'll get a fraction of a cent click. I've gotten down to a 0.05 of a cent, whatever it was. Like, but of course they're not your ideal customer and what have you. But at the same time, I did run one where we got conversions on it for 14 cents a click. And when you factor in a conversion rate then of like moving across into a customer, if even a low conversion of saying, well, 5% of people convert into a customer. Well, but now when you try and times 14 cents by 100 clicks and you've got $14 of ad spend that you just paid to get 100 clicks on it, and you've converted 5 of them into customers, well, as long as each of those 5 are giving you more than $3, you're in the profit.
Yeah.
So
doing all day long.
You could do it all day long. You just keep throwing money into it because you know that on the back end, you're getting more money out. But the power of the Facebook ad is definitely in targeting your actual ideal customer.
Yeah, and also the ability to split test. But obviously, we can leave that for another podcast.
Absolutely. And not that we want to be pushing it. We want to be giving the podcasts as free and valuable information. But those of you that do want to know, we do have a Facebook ads course specifically based around getting people to your bot, and it's designed for beginners and novices. So if you've been running Facebook ads before making profit, you're not going to find it valuable. It's not going to be good for you. But for those of you who have either never run an ad or never run a profitable, successful ad, you'll probably find it very, very valuable. And the link will be in the show notes.
Yeah. Awesome. That's brilliant. Well, we'll keep it there, man. And that's a little bit longer than we normally go, but there's a lot of information to talk about Facebook ads.
Exactly.
So thanks again.
I could go on all day about Facebook ads.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's it. So thanks everyone for listening. Greatly appreciate you coming on. Again, please jump on iTunes and rate and review the show. The more rates and review we get, the more people we can impact, and the more people we can get this to. So greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks, Daniel.
All right, see ya.
Thank you for listening. If you value your life, you won't keep this a secret. Subscribe, rate, and review, or we will find you.